With the gaming scene bigger than it has ever been, it shouldn't be a surprise that game companies will try and scam gamers for the money within their games. Gamers can get a lot out of a game, and with the idea of downloadable content, or DLC, players can get even more of the same game. However, the industry can give the illusion of a complete game but lock out in-game content within a paywall. Since the start of the 7th console generation, DLC became an important aspect for games. We had to provide more hours to the gamers, giving them a reason to continue playing the game. However, within the last 10 years, companies decided to abuse DLC system. One problem people have with DLC is the price. Now, the price wouldn't be an issue if there was more content that came with the price you paid for.
It harkens back to the old days when DLC were worth the price of administration.
So my opinion on DLC is kind of in the middle. In some games, like Borderlands 2, it's good because when you finish the game, and then you buy the DLC to continue basically. But the DLC is not part of the main story. It's different side stories, which makes sense because obviously you bought the whole game first. So you finish the game and then you buy different side stories. That's fine.
And like some games is really good and some games like stupid. Like for example, you know like a game called Skylanders where you have to like buy the characters. I think, and especially it's a kids game, so you're basically making kids pay £50 for the game and making them pay like £10 to get each character.
With DLC, I generally find that I'm quite torn because I don't like the fact that companies will paywall out the rest of a game by making people pay more for a game they've already bought. But at the same time, I really found myself enjoying having this huge load of new content in games like Destiny, where you're done and you've hit the cap and then they expand it and give you so much more to do.
In other games, like Train Simulator, it's kind of a weird one, but the DLC in that game is basically so bad they have to pay £5,000 pounds to complete the whole game. So it's in some games it's good and in some games it's bad.
Gamers would feel ripped off paying a lot of money for something very little in return. Other times a whole DLC collection combined price can sometimes cost more than the original price of the game, like with Super Smash Bros. 4 with all the DLC characters.
Do you know how much the complete DLC for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U costs? If you add up all the DLC bundles for the Wii U version alone, you're looking at around $70. That's more than the game itself!
It's not just about getting small extra content, however, as sometimes people must pay for content that is already on the gaming disc. Street Fighter X Tekken inclusion of characters on the disc that can only be used by paying more resulted in criticism by fans and publishers, as gamers would pay an additional amount of money for something that was completed before release and on disc. Then in Zoro's wrath, Capcom kept the real ending of the game behind DLC, so players would have to pay more to fully complete the game.
Definitely, where it's content that's already in the game and it's just that you have to pay to actually access it, I'm really not a fan. I feel like it's sort of the company has to be giving that to the player because that's what they've paid for already. They can't be paying even more than the initial price.
It's not really fair because you're making the person buy the video game. So like you expect like when you buy a video game, you expect to like just play all the levels without paying for more levels. Like you have to pay to complete the story and understand and like.
In games like Tekken, the content behind paywall is bad, so I don't really play them. I don't like them because of that.
The controversy doesn't stop at console games though, as mobile games are even more guilty. There are many games on mobile devices that are free to play. However, developers will make gameplay limited, often putting players on a racing time. But players have the option to pay to be able to skip the racing time to help progress through the game even quicker and be better at the game. This is referred to as pay to win.
A lot of mobile games do this, like Clash of Clans, where you have to like, where you could get really good, but it would take really slowly without paying real money. But if you play but if you want to get to like the top quickly, yeah, when you can like, it's really tempting to use actual money to just get there. And when they have that option, it's like tempting to just do it, and it just spoils the game because you're not actually like playing it. You're just paying to win, which just beats the purpose of playing a game.
Recently, mobile games have been quite good at separating the people that don't want to spend any money and the people that definitely like to spend money on these types of games. And so what you get is a higher gameplay level for the people that are very obviously spending lots of money on the game and getting an advantage over other players. So it separates them out from the players that aren't, which makes it quite fair. So I think I don't really have an issue with it because it gives you that freedom where you don't have to spend the whole time on some games. But if you feel like you can't progress without spending money, then I find it quite bad.
For mobile games that are basically pay to win, it's bad, but not really bad, because it's more like pay for convenience, not pay to win. Because you can still do the stuff in the game, but not really do it without paying, because you have to wait like days and weeks for the stuff to be ready to unlock. So I think it's fine, it's not too bad, it's a good model, it works, so don't change it.
Dungeon Keeper on mobile is looked at the worst offender at this type of module, as it is a remake of a cult classic that locks out a lot of its progress behind the paywall. This business is often criticized, and people have made a comparison to gambling addiction. Even South Park has made fun of this business module in their episode Freemium Isn't Free.
A cynically designed cash transfer system whereby some hack developer enthralled to Electronic Arts gives you not a game, but the idea of a game, the paper-thin concept of a game, and harasses you for money in exchange to keep having that one hint of what could be, but isn't, gameplay.
Then we reach the controversial business module of them all, loot boxes. These are items that contain random in-game content that players can earn in the game. These can range from costumes, weapon skins, or special audio that can go with the characters. However, players can use real-world money to buy loot boxes to get the items quicker, in contrast to playing the game and leveling up and earning the loot boxes.
But other DLCs, you know what you're buying, but with loot boxes, you don't even know what you're going to get. So to get what you want to get, you want to keep on buying and buying and buying more boxes. Because in these boxes, they could be like really good ones and they could be like really bad ones. And having that, and like being the person want to buy in the loot box, you think, oh, I'm going to get a good one. So you're going to keep on retrying, which actually makes more money than just buying a normal skin.
I like them a lot because they add content to the game without really updating anything to the game. You just buy them and there's your skins or the content that you bought it for. For example, in Overwatch, it's just skins. I don't see a problem with paying for skins. Same with League of Legends. You just buy skins. You're not actually progressing in the game with the characters.
This business model shouldn't be controversial as it is. However, in 2017, EA released Star Wars Battlefront 2, which included loot boxes, where they made you unlock key Star Wars characters and access loot boxes through credits, either attained by hours of playing the game or paying for it.
Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, they had loot boxes for you to progress in the game. With example, you can play Darth Vader when you buy certain amount of loot boxes, so you can unlock him and then you can play him.
This falls back into the category of pay to win, and this received many backlashes from the gaming community, so much so that EA would withdraw the loot boxes until they decided to remove the elements that made it pay to win. Loot boxes have also received criticism as it often compared to gambling, as you pay money and rely on luck to get the outcome you want.
I think loot boxes are gambling because it's basically a slot machine. You just don't know what you're gonna get. But being said that, I think it's a good kind of gambling because you can do it responsibly and not get lost in it. Because if you get the one skin that you want, you're not gonna open that again anymore, are you? You know what I mean? So that makes it a perfect model again for a game.
I think with loot boxes, as fun as they are to open, then the moment that you actually make it possible to spend real money on a loot box, then it becomes actually gambling and actually against the law. I enjoy opening loot boxes and I like getting them in games, but I think that the companies are well aware that they can sort of loophole against actual gambling laws when they put them into games and let players spend money on it, because people will spend money on it. And you get all these issues of kids that spend loads and loads because they think, oh, if I get it in one pack, I'll be so lucky and I'll have only spent £1 instead of 20. But they spend more and more and more until they've sometimes doubled their spending, which I find really quite bad.
Loot boxes is gambling. It's like, because you just want to keep, because gambling, you want to try your best to get like more as possible, like by using less. So people will just use, like, it will be in their head like, oh, this is cheap. This is cheaper than actually buying a skin, and I might get a good one. But the thing is that once they get one good thing, like say if they just get like a medium price skin, yeah, for a low price, they think, oh, I can do this. I can probably get even more and save more money.
I can see where the people that say it's gambling because it's like slot machines, and also a lot of underage people do it, which that is bad. There should be something in games to protect from that.
However, people have voiced their opinions saying that loot boxes don't fit in the same format as gambling. In 2017, the UK Gambling Commission said loot boxes do not qualify as gambling under current British law, but it warned that the lines between gambling and gaming are becoming increasingly blurred and that parents should be proactive in protecting children from the risks of gaming online. There are many other controversies in the gaming world, but it doesn't get any more controversial than having to spend real money on something you have already bought. So, before you enter your card information, ask yourself this: why are you buying more for what you already own?